hope all is well with you and your family during these trying times. Thank God we're hopefully, I see light at the end of the tunnel and we're getting out of this quarantine situation. Today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a couple other images that I found on Google Maps and Google Earth. And I've talked about this in my book, which I just came out with, called My Search for Dogman, Nature's Scariest Cryptid. Yeah, my wife and kids think I've gone off the deep end, but I can only tell you that, there's an old saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. I grew up with the Lon Chaney image of a wolf man. That's a man that turns into a wolf. And that's not what a dog man is based on my research. It's really a creature like you would find a bear or a moose out in the wilderness. Where they come from, I can only tell you from my research that they're in the Bible. They go back in time. I found in my research that they as far back as Eastern Turkey. And if you get the book, and that's your call, I go into all the details, the historical background of the Dogman creature. I also, as a segue, it was unavoidable. I talk about what's known as the werewolf, which that's a whole nother aspect, and a little bit of the Bigfoot. And I did encounter a man who I'll call Mr. Black, who lives in a place I'll call Shangri-La, and his property is infested with Dogman and Bigfoot. So I got to communicate with somebody who actually has direct experience of this. But where there's smoke, there's fire. Since in October 2018, when I first, by chance, I was on my phone listening to podcasts, and then this thing, Dogman, came up. And I'm like, what the hell is a Dogman? And I listened to this account on Dogman Encounters Radio with Vic Cundiff. And I will say he's not in no way supporting what I'm doing right now. I don't know the man. I'm just telling you the facts. I was listening to one of his shows, and this man's describing a Dogman creature and how he shot the creature. And I was like, what? And so I listened to a couple other shows, and of course, my personality, I started, like, every day I'd listen to one or two of these accounts, and I started researching. But for 2 weeks, I kid you not, I was laughing to myself. I literally would catch myself at work laughing. No, this can't be real. I've never heard of this. This can't be real. Well, after a while, I realized there's so many people that have encountered these creatures. And so I started to think, well, maybe this is real. So in January of 2019, I went online. I thought, well, you know what? They say you can go online through Google Earth and Google Maps, and you can find images on there. So I thought, I'm going to try. It was like midnight, like January 3rd or something, 2019. And I went online, and it's true. And you don't have to believe me. I don't expect people to believe me. But I had heard an account out of Taylorville, Illinois. And so I'm from Illinois. So I thought, okay, I kind of know where that is. So I went, the way the guy described where it was, I went exactly to where he says that he saw a Dogman creature. And I started following the street and the road, actually, the old Lincoln Highway east of town. And lo and behold, and you don't have to believe me, I saw two images. It would be looking up from above, and the one on the right was a man, looked like a man to me, and the one on the left looked like a dog or something walking. And I thought, no. And I kept looking at it, and like a dummy, I wasn't thinking, oh my God, take a screenshot of this. I wasn't thinking that. It just didn't occur to me. I know now I should have done that. But anyways, I did not, but I know what I saw. It did not look like a man. And I thought, this is insane. So anyways, I realized though that you can use, you can go hunt for these things and not even leave your bedroom or your house because of the precision of the technology we have today. Now, as a side note, I believe probably they're going to catch on to that. They mean that, Google and the tech people, they're going to catch on to this. I notice they do automatically cloud out people's faces and so on. And I get that. And it's appreciated. I don't hold that against them. People deserve their privacy, but I think eventually they'll probably figure out a way to do that with any kind of anomalies, if you will. I'll use that word. You catch a, a Bigfoot standing there ordering an ice cream cone at a Tasty Freeze, and they'll have a way to block it out eventually, I'm sure, because I don't think the people in charge, their conventional wisdom is such that they want us to really come to any kind of conclusion that this is real, that these creatures are real. I live in an area on the West Coast that is teeming with this stuff. I mean, literally within 20, 30 miles of my house, there have been major accounts, eyewitness accounts of, in particular, Bigfoot, also Dogman. I also heard an account by a reputable witness who worked for the government. There's too much for me to get into. I don't want to make this video an hour long, but who described, how werewolves can go into cities. So can Dogman, but the werewolf, if you read my book, I get into the distinctions. They're very intelligent, as smart as we are, very strong, fast. And according to this individual, they're used for military operations. And once they've completed X a number of assignments, they're released into the wild, and they sometimes end up in the cities. It's not just a rural thing. And he described how they have, some of these have trackers on them, so they can literally pinpoint exactly where they're at. And yeah, they're in the cities as well. And I know where I live, not too far, you could literally drive down to the riverfront and they're somewhere, according to his record. So anyways, what I want to share with you are two pictures I took. One of them is I went into, there's an area south of Dayton called Germantown. So I listened to an individual describe, and I went to the spot on the road, which I listened for that. When I'm listening to eyewitnesses, I listen to what state, what city, excuse me, the road, et cetera, to a pinpoint. I go right online and I look for it. And I look for anomalies in the bushes, particularly the bushes, the trees, and these areas generally are very built up in terms of the shrubbery, the vegetation. It makes sense. An animal's not going to be out, on a busy street corner in downtown, Chicago or something. They're going to be in a place where they can hide. And so, anyways, I took a picture. I found something, and I took a picture of it, and I'm going to share that with you. That's near Germantown. And then the other would be I love the show, and it's about a young couple, and they fix up homes in Laurel, Mississippi. And by chance, I like to Google stuff like that. Just, oh, Laurel, what's that like? And I usually start with Wikipedia. There's nothing wrong with Wikipedia. I know it. Yeah, people will complain about it. I use it all the time when I research. Right away, I start my research there. I don't use it as my primary source, just as a jumping off point. And I went there, and there were a couple images connected to the Wikipedia page, and I looked at them, and I saw what I thought were strange anomalies. I'm going to use the word Dogman or something like that in the image. And there are people on a bridge, and nearby appears to be what I think are Dogman or Dogmen in the image. And I always check the area when I'm looking for Dogman. You get up high on these Google Maps or whatever you're using, and you could see, when you see a lot of vegetation, trees, forests, that's what you're looking for. That's what they need for cover, for a food source. They're usually around rivers. And you can get into other elements that are usually related to whether or not they're dogmen in the area, such as Indian burial ground, cornfields. Regarding images, pictures, it's subjective. It's not definitive evidence. I can see, a dog man, you might just see a leaf, and that's just the reality. So I'm saying to you, when I show you these images, take it with a grain of salt. Don't believe me. I could be totally wrong. I don't know. It's what I see. I think I see. And I'm not trying to persuade you one way or the other. I don't have any idea how to doctor photos, and I would never do that. I don't believe in that. If it's not there, if there's no dogman there, there's no dogman there. I'm looking for that creature, and that's one way to do it. And you can do that yourself by searching through Google Maps, Google Earth. It's easy to do. Have a good day.